Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa sallam. So our session on Quranic Arabic today, where we will be focusing on the first 14 verses of Surah AlMa3aarij, as well as quickly reviewing pronouns, which we covered last time, and then giving an introduction to verbs. So before I jump into that, let me bring up the pronoun sheet that we looked at last week and see if there are any questions. Okay, so this is what we have here. Just going to get rid of this floating panel. Okay, that's good. All right, so this was the main pronoun chart that we covered last week. So it was showing us what is used in the Arabic language when we are talking about the he or his or him, she or her, you or your, and then I, me and my, and we or ours. So all these are referred here. So as you keep reading Quran, as you keep memorizing Quran, you can use this thing to quickly refer back to it. And we saw some of these examples last time. Any questions specifically about pronouns? Okay, for those of you who were here last time or have thought about it, any specific questions specifically about pronouns? Okay. So moving on, the other concept that we talked about last week was this. Okay, so we said that, look, any word that you will look at can be one of these three classes: noun, verb, or letter. So pronouns would also fall into the category of noun. And we looked at some of these letters or harf or prepositions. And we said that, look, these ones, they come up 10,000 times in Quran. So the li, for, which means for, min, from, and with, fi, in, bi is with or in, ala is on or upon, inda is near or have, ila is to or towards, ma'a means with. And here, what you're also seeing is that these pronouns, these prepositions are connected with the pronouns. These prepositions are connected with the pronouns. So let's take a few examples. Second. All right. So here, for example, you see li. So this is the pronoun for, this line is all the pronouns for I, me, and my. I, me, and my. And then, so actually, let's go from here. So on the top, you have the pronouns of he, him, or his. Okay. Then you have for them. The third line is for you or your. And then the fourth line is for me, I, my. The fifth line is for you all. The sixth line is for we or us. And then the seventh line is for she or her. So you have these pronouns that you can kind of take a look at. Again, our goal is not to memorize the chart, but be able to break it down, right? So what our goal is not for you to be able to think in English and be able to transmit in Arabic. Rather, the goal is reversed. The goal is when you are looking at the Quran, you're reading the Quran, you're listening to the Quran, for you to be able to understand what is being said. Okay, so that's the second thing here that we talked about. Now I'm going to show you something which is about the verbs, and then we'll go into today's session. Okay, and these are all linked in the video description as well as in the email. You should have found this link. I'm just going to put it in the chat as well, just in case someone doesn't have it. All right. Okay, so now we'll take a look at verb. Now there are other forms of verb. This is the most common form of verbs. Okay, so when it comes to verb, the first thing that we want to understand is that the verbs are divided into two categories based on the timing. So there are verbs that are for past tense, and then there are verbs that represent something happening now or something that will happen in the future. Okay, once again, past tense or something that's happening now or will happen in the future. And based on that, if either it's past or present or future, it's a different structure. Also, within the structure of the verb, some information about the doer is encoded. So the example that I've been using is that it's like Legos, right? So if you think about this pen, you can open it up and then you will have these pieces. So similarly, when we are looking at the Arabic words, we're trying to break down the Lego pieces so we are able to understand what each piece means, and that helps us understand the full word. Let me now explain to you what I've been saying. So here, the rightmost chart is for past tense, and then the left one is for present or future. So what they are saying here is that if the word or the verb is based on the 3 root letters, let's call it fa, ayn, lam. So the first root letter is fa, the second root letter is ayn, the third root letter is lam. Then this is what the pattern would be. Let me give you an example of different root letters. So for example, the word fataha means to open. So here the root letters are, someone can please write in the chat quickly. Or for nasara, what are the root letters? For daraba, what are the root letters? For sami'a, what are the root letters? So for fataha, the root letters are fa, ta, ha. Fa, ta, and ha. Okay, the obvious one. So now if you think about it, if you just have it right straight up, fa, ayn, lam, or fa, ta, ha, or nun, sad, ra, then that means that the action was done by a third person, male, right? So we would say he did, he opened, he helped, and so on and so forth. If you see a vav at the end, that means that the action was done by third person, plural, which in English means they. Okay, so that's the information that's encoded in this attachment. If you have the ta at the end, that means that the doer is you. If you have the ta dhamma or tu in the end, that means the doer is I. Okay, and then if you have tum at the end, that the doer is you all. If you have na at the end, then the doer is we. And if you have ta sakin at the end, then the doer is a third person female, meaning she. Okay, so that's something I want to first and foremost. So what I've said so far, you have past tense or you have present and future. Okay, then I've showed you that how does the information gets encoded for past tense. So you don't have anything in the beginning, but you have something that's attached at the end. That attachment gives you the information of the doer. Any questions so far before we move on to the present tense? Any questions? Well, I'm going to check something here.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Oh, I wanted to ask for the one I had tum. Is that for both male and female? Is that for masculine and feminine, or
Which one? Sorry, which one?
The fa'al tum.
Yes, that's for yes. So good. So that doesn't, yeah, so that's not distinguishing the female or the male. It's for it could be all. It could be all males, it could be males and females, it could also be males and females. It could also be all females in general. In general, right? Just to keep it simple. Okay, now I'm just going to show you just for completeness, because that's a very good question you asked. So here, I also have another verb chart in the same folder. Which one is that? Okay, this one here. So if you see here, right? So this is the tum. Now, there is also something called tunna, nasar tunna, that's used for females. So if you really want to be precise, and if If the doers are all females, then you might see it using tunna. If the doers is all male or mixed of males and females, then it would probably use tum. Does that answer your question?
No. That's
okay, good. All right. Was there anybody else with a question? So this is more complete chart. If someone wants to look at it, so there's like a verb form 3 present and past tense chart, but the most common one is this one that I'm using right now. Okay, so assuming there are no questions, I'm going to move on to the present and future. Okay, so for the present and future case, as you see here, there's something that also gets attached in the beginning. So in the case of he, you have ya attached. For they, you have ya plus waw noon. For you, you have ta fatha attached. For I, you have hamza fatha attached. For you all, you have ta and waw noon attached. And for we, you have noon attached in the beginning. And for she, you have the ta attached. So that's another thing to note. Okay. Now, if you want to turn this into a command form or a request form, all you're doing is you're making the first letter sakin. Okay. You're also making the last letter sakin. And then you're making it if'al. Or for plural, you are making it if'alu. And if you want to make it a prohibition, you would add a la. And then you would add a ta in the beginning. So la taf'al, la taf'alu. Okay, so you have now many different examples here. So let's take a look at fataha, right? Fataha yaftahu. If you want to make it into a command, you say iftah. Okay, so again, these are things that we will see as we read the Quran, but these are the pattern charts that you can then utilize to come back and match to it. Okay, and these are the most common patterns. As we go along, we might introduce some more complex and less frequently used patterns as well. Okay, but this is what will give you the most impact from your efforts, inshallah. Okay, so if everybody's okay with that basics, we will go and look at the first 14 verses that we studied today. Any questions, anything you want me to restate, review, let me know. If not, we'll go on, inshallah. Okay, so
yes, excuse me, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fataha means he opened. And what's the difference between Fataha, which is like a success, or is there a difference in between the two words? Or
No, same thing. Yeah. So Fataha, like he opened or he became successful, right? He conquered, he overpowered, is all around it. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay, let's go and study the first 14 verses using corpus. And okay, let's use this one, inshallah. Okay, the website went down. SubhanAllah. What a timing. Let's try again. Okay. It's weird. Okay. All right, so we will just use, I guess, until it comes back, we'll just use Quran.com for now. Or we can also use this, because this also has, okay, let's use this then. I think it's better from a, all right. Okay, Sa'ala, he asked. right? So see, it's the same pattern, right? Sin, hamza, lam, like fa'ala, right? There's no attachment, no detachments, right? No attachment, no prefixes, no suffixes. So he asked. Who asked? Sa'il, the asker, the one who asked, right? So this is also something that was shown here. Let me quickly bring it up. So see, one of the concepts that they were also showing us that in general, if you have a verb with the 3 letters, to make it in, like, for example, you have the verb act, right? And in the English language, you want to make it a doer, you make it actor. Actor is someone who acts, right? So the way you do it in the Arabic language, you make it like this, fa'il. So that's why fatih is the one who has opened, who has conquered. Nasir is the one who has helped, who is the helper. Darib is the one who hit. Okay, and then you want to make it into the one who has received the action. You make it into maf'ul. Maftuh is the thing that was open. Mansur was the one who was helped. Madrub was the one who was hit. Masmu' was the one who was listened to. So here you have the same sort of structure. Sa'ala, he asked who? The one who asked. Sa'il, the questioner. Be is a preposition, remember? Be adab, with or about the adab, which means punishment. Waqi', the one that's supposed to happen. So this is also on the pattern of fa'il. Waqi' on the pattern of fa'il. So the something that's bound to happen. So waw qaf ayn is for something to happen, and waqi' is something that's bound to happen. So going on, lil. So li, preposition. Remember from the preposition chart, li means for. We use the same word for alhamdu lillah. Fi sabili lillah, right? So it's the same li. Lil kafirina, the disbelievers. For the disbelievers, laisa means not. Lahu, of it, dafi', any preventer. So see, dal fa'in is to prevent. Dafi' is the one who prevents. So they don't have any preventer. Lil kafirina laysa lahu dafi'. Min Allahi, min from Allah, the owner, AlMa3aarij, of the ways of ascent. So ma'arij is the ways of ascent, and then here you have it in the verb format. Ta'aruju means it ascends, right? Or she ascends. The feminine noun, the feminine doer ascends. So the root here is ayn, ra, jim. So let's connect this with, one second. Sorry about that. Okay, so ta'aruju, she ascends. Let's bring it on the verb chart. Where is the verb chart? Here. See the ta attached, but this is also used for a feminine noun. So we have the same thing. Ayn is sakin, ra has a fatha, and the jim has a fatha. So taf'alu, same pattern as ta'aruju. Why is it she? Because the angels, al-malaika, is a feminine noun in Arabic. So before I move forward, let me know if that's clear, because that's connected to our concept of verbs. Ta'aruju, she ascends. What is this feminine noun? Al-malaika, the angels. And we talked about it last time, that this rounded ta is an indication of it being a feminine noun. Let's see if this is up. Any questions about ta'aruju? Is clear? Give me a 1 in the chat if it's clear. So the malaika ascends and the ruh ascends, which is the angel Jibreel, ilayhi, to him. So he is a pronoun that we looked at last week. Remember, he is pronoun. Fi, in, yawmin, day, kana, was, miqdaruhu, its measure, right? Also, if you want to be really literal, his measure, right? Where is the his coming from? The ha dhamma is giving us the meaning of his. Miqdar, its measure, its amount. What's the amount? Khamseen. So kha mim sa is for 5, khamseen is for 50, alf is for 1,000, and sana is for years. Khamseen alfa sana. Now this is a command. So remember, so today, alhamdulillah, we're seeing a lot of different things. So Swad Ba Ra is for being patient, right? Patience. So if I say Sabara, he was patient. Sabr is the noun, and then Isbir is the command. So you see what happened? We made the first letter a sakin, the third letter also became sakin, and then we added a hamza. Fasbir. So be patient. What kind of patience? Sabran, a patience. Jamilan, which is beautiful, which is good. Innahum, inna means indeed, hum means them. Innahum, indeed they, yaraw, na, who. Okay, good. So now take a look at this. Yarawna. So the waw noon, we know is for plural, and ya is for third person. So they see it. They see, who means it, ba'ida, far off, wa narahu. See? Yarawna, nara. So noon is for we, right? So we see it, qariban, as something near. Yawma, the day, takunu sama'u. The sky will become like molten copper. Muhl is molten copper. And then ka means like. So we know the word ka means like in many other contexts as well. Kama also means like. And we say this in the Salatul Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, kama sallayta ala Ibrahim. Okay. Now even there, look at the word sallayta. The ta at the end is for you, like you prayed, like you send your blessings upon. وَتَكُونُ الْجِبَالُ, and the jibal will be like in, like wool. Wala, and not. Yas'al, right? Will ask. Hamim, a friend, about a friend. Hamima. Yubassarunahum. Okay, look at this word now. Ba sadra is to see. This ya is for third person. Wawnun is to make it plural. So that's why it becomes they see, and this whom becomes them. So all of this is encoded here. Look at this. Yubassarunahum. So the core here is ba sadra. Everything else is giving you the information about the doer and the one receiving the action. Yubassarunahum. They will receive, they will see. Yawaddul. He will love it. He would wish. Who will wish? Al-mujrim, the wrongdoer. Law, if yaftadi. He could be ransomed. Yaftadi, he could be ransomed. Min, from adab, the punishment. Yawmi, if that day. Be with bani, son or children, and he, his. Banihi, his children. So where is this his he coming from? Remember the pronoun chart. If you look at it, that's where it's coming from. Bi banihi. Wasahibatihi. So now you'll see the same patterns. His wife, his brother. Fasila, any of his nearest kindred. Allati, the one who took we, sheltered him. So we've looked at the word alladhi. Alladhi means the one who. Allati is used for feminine. So alladhi is for masculine, allati is for feminine. To we, the one who sheltered him. Him is coming from this he. Woman, and whoever fil ardi, in the earth. Jami'an, all of them. Thumma, then. Yunjihi, then he, it could save him. All right, so this is for today. Let's see if there are any questions. If not, then we'll review last week's lesson together, and that will be a good way for us to all interact more, because right now you guys are very silent. So any questions for today's session? If there's no question, put a 0 in the chat, and then we'll do the practice, inshallah. All right, good. So let's practice from last week's session.